Good morning, good morning. Our garbage man out there has his, doesn't have his nice truck today. He's got, what, three? He's got the nice garbage truck in a blue, and this is his bottom level truck. A bit cloudy today. Good morning, good morning. I wonder how many other restaurants he goes to. We're not first on his list, are we? There's other stuff in the bottom of the truck there. So is this his first stop or not? I don't know. Morning, good morning. For some reason, after years of behaving well, the camera has decided to get a mind of its own. Okay, as you can see, we're back printing again. Not back printing, this is my job now, you know, I have a printer. This is my main work here. We're printing the DF06, the one with the tanuki. You saw me do. No, you haven't seen me do any of it. I did the paper. Someone says anything on the lens. I can't see that, but what I can see is there's a plastic thing that closes and opens when you turn the camera on. And part of it actually, I just noticed now, was I've just knocked it down just now, so maybe that was it. Maybe part of the lens cover was in the way. That could have been it. Could have been it. I'm here alone, so the air conditioner is off, and Ishikawa-san will be joining me. She'll be coming later. She's working on the same print that I am. But there's no need for the air conditioner today. It's not chilly, but it's... No, not the shutter. There's a camera cover. And when it opens, the camera's there. The shutter is somewhere deep inside the camera. I can't see that. This is a camera lens cover. Paper's out for two of us, for me and for Ishikawa-san. As I said, she's coming later. Yes, we're keeping the block moist. I got here 10 or 15 minutes ago, and I'm going to delay a minute here until I feel that the block is warm, wet, moist. And I got to get my paste ready anyway. And today we're using another Atelier Sento patented pigment. There's no way you would have seen this on this bench ever in the last 38 years. But this year it's a different palette completely. I can't say we're struggling with this, we're getting used to it, but it is different for us. This is paste going in. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's so clear. Paste is in there now. It's not going to show, it's too bright. Can you see it? But it's too sticky. These are natural pigments. No, none of the pigments we're using these days are natural pigments. Natural in the sense of organic, tree bark and indigo leaves, you know, fermented and stuff like that. Actually, that one's true. The indigo we're using could be from fermented indigo leaves, but most of the rest of the pigments we're using are mineral pigments and or factory produced stuff. The natural pigments, organic stuff used in the old days, are way, way, way too fugitive. They disappear instantly. And we are using white these days. Somebody, Koringami, is talking about the white. In our traditional palette, we don't use white to cut things. This has, we have used the pigment called shimbashi with a little touch of indigo and then titanium white. And this is the palette that Atsuri Sento has called for. So all of our previous rules that people know, they're all a little bit edited, adapted, and adjusted this year. So probably Koringami wrote that because, you know, that's been our pattern for decades, many decades. This year, all bets are off. We're not going full opaque. You won't see us print stuff like, you know, the Kyoto style where we're putting white pigment on top of something. We're not doing that. There are white areas in this finished print, but the white areas you will see in the print will be leftover paper. We're still sticking with this. This is a finished sample. This is from Chiharu-san, her finished group. The white parts you see here around the Jizo-san, the highlight on the tanuki, this is white paper. We're not going full opaque, but the color you see here, the base color behind the tanuki, this has white mixed into it. But I am now just starting. Yesterday, I did the key block. You'll see it as I start printing. I've done my key block, and my job this morning is to print this impression. And as you can see, the ingredients were shimbashi, a touch of yellow. I said a touch of that's wrong. A touch of yellow, and chitan, titanium white. Let's clean up. Show and tell today. We have all kinds of stuff for show and tell. We have a booklet that I received about the Asahi collection. We have endless piles of the match labels, but I thought today for show and tell we'll do something something large and something small. Let's wait until we get there. New York Times News, June 15th. Yeah, you know what it's all about. Oh, and there's a letter. We've received a letter from somebody in France. And the initials are MM. If you're here on the stream, can you maybe let me know, is this okay to open? Is it a print? It feels like a postcard size thing. Maybe it's a print inside. If you're here, Miss MM from France, let me know if it's okay to open this. Focus. Just saw the email that you guys are making 3D shadow boxes. You are confused. That's not me. That's nothing to do with me, nothing to do with Mokuhankan, nothing to do with anything to do with us. You must be on Jed Henry's mailing list. Jed Henry is doing a lot of different stuff these days. And I heard that he's also now making shadow boxes, whatever they are. So that's not me. What confuses many people, is Jed sends emails saying the shop is open for 24 hours only. And he'll send an email saying shop is now closed for 2 months. And he means his online shop, not us. I'm not chewing you out, but just so you know. It's endless trouble for us. People will say, I'm in Asakusa, but I got an email saying the shop is closed for 2 months. I really wanted to come and see you guys, have to catch you later. And of course it's nothing to do with us. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, is it wet enough? Is it warmed up enough? Only one way to find out. Now this is a wide area. We're going to need a whole bunch of paste in every impression. We have a spoon problem. I still didn't find my spoon downstairs. It'll show up. It won't show up. It'll show up only when I go and hunt for it. So whatever. Now the pigment I'm using today is, I inherited it. I didn't make this. There's 3 of us here, myself, Ishikawa-san, and Ayumi-san. We're all doing batches of the same print. And I'm the slowest one. She's already started. So because she's first out of the blocks, she's the one that gets to mix all the pigments. Last month it was me. I mixed a bunch of them and she used some of mine. And away we went. But today, she did this yesterday, so she mixed this up already. So. Now the brush is empty, so we need a good fill to get the brush filled up. And there's a bunch of hard spots on the wood that will leave marks here, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be layering. This print has layer on top of layer on top of layer. Okay, test paper, rough test paper. Something like that. Here's our sample. There we go. This is test paper start, but it looks like we're going to be doing this. Let's go. The block is still on the dry side. I haven't got my paper ready. One second. We have 72 sheets here this time. Last month, for the number 5 print, I did 100 sheets. We needed 200 to be printed here in Asakusa. I prepared 200 sheets of paper. I took 100 myself. Ishikawa-san did 50 and Ayumi-san did 50. But I ended up being very, 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 very late. So what we've done this month is we're doing the same pattern. We need to make 250 here in Asakusa, 200. So I prepared 200 sheets of paper, but instead of splitting it 100, 50, 50, I have 72, and they have 64 each. So they're taking a bit more of the burden here. It's not because I can't do it, it's because I can't do it in time. Now, let's see. Do I need a protective sheet? I don't know, maybe not. This is Murata paper. Looking good. Let's have a look. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just what the doctor ordered, I think. It It's hard to tell at this point. That's maybe a bit too deep. I can back it off a bit. It's a bit hard to tell because that one's surrounded by darker colors, but I think I'm a tiny bit too deep. That's where we're going. We're going up and up and up and up and up. So what we'll do is we will start to do it this way. Instead of putting the pigment directly on the wood, a little bit of water, pull from here, and away we go. So this will be the pattern today. This is what I'm printing. There's 72 sheets. There's no way I can get them all finished during the course of this stream, but we'll do a bunch. What else do we have? We have show and tell. There will be a show and tell somewhere around 9:15. I have a list of things that I'm supposed to update you on, none of which involve the pool. That's not quite true. One of them peripherally involves the pool. Brush is shedding hairs here. So, feeling bad for the spoon. I'm sorry. Tell you what, I'm in the shop today. After the stream is over, I'll be heading downstairs to the shop. And today and tomorrow, I will be on shop duty. And while I'm down there, if it's not too busy, because we're now coming into June, we're in the middle of June, can I promise that I will try and find my spoon until... This is hard work, you know. It's hard work. Human printing press. I was worried we might be getting feathering, but I don't see any at all. Murat-san's paper is holding up very, very well. There is a little bit of a twist, and maybe I talked to you about this. I did. When we did the sizing the other day for this batch of paper, remember I told you that we were using the leftover paper from Murat-san's earliest shipments to us. And there had been quite a bit of variation at the beginning in the heaviness, the thickness of the paper. So for the early parts of this series, the Dreams of Future Past, January, February, March, we had used, for the most part, her average paper, the paper in the middle of each batch that was the average thickness. And we kind of postponed, we punted. There's a bunch of thin sheets and a bunch of thick sheets. As I mentioned the other day when we were doing the sizing, we can't punt anymore. We need to use the paper. So this batch of 200 is made up of the thin ones we left behind and the thick ones we left behind. And when I did the sizing the other day, I showed you, I broke it into two groups so that I could properly put the level of sizing in. When we moved forward to 2 or 3 days ago, the sizing was done, printing begins, and myself and Ishikawa-san and Ayumi-san decided how to use the paper. And I told them about the thickness and thinness. And you know where the rest of this story is going. Ayumi-san grabbed the batch of paper from the middle of the group. Because after sizing, I hung them up all in a row. There were thin ones, thin ones, thin ones, middle, thick ones, thick ones, thick ones. Ayumi-san grabbed 64 sheets from the middle, leaving super thick and super thin. We know the rest of the story. Ishikawa-san came along, and of course, I'm not complaining about this, she took the thin edge of the paper. She's always thinking, I don't have the strength, she says, to do this. I can't use thick paper. True or not true, whatever, but I get it. Point being then, it has left for me the very thick paper, every thick sheet from all the packages that Murata-san has sent us so far. Some of this paper in my batch is thick. Now, from the point of view of the people getting the print, they won't even actually notice this. But Dave's job here, not yet. I can feel the thickness. Ooh, this is a thick sheet of paper. In she goes. And now, ho, ho, ho. Ready? Roll them up. Let's go. Oof. I exaggerate slightly, but yes, it's thick paper. As we go on, oh look at that, you can see with the pigment gone. As we move on, you can see what's going to be happening here. We're going to be layering. That's the first layer we're doing. That's a separate area. That's a separate area. And then we're going to be layering. That's on top of this tree. It's on top of the background here. Another area on top of the background, on top of the tree, on top of the ground. We move along, move along. Another area. Some of this stuff is going to get 4 deep, rich layers. So when you get the finished print at the end of the day, some of this stuff up in these corners of this tree, they've had this treatment 4 times. Moist pigment and rubbing. And the paper has to be magnificent. And it is. You've seen Chiharu-san. She did her 200 sheets. Boom. So in the first one here, as I'm pressing this, the paper is rich and thick. Now that I've printed this one, this area, the printed area, is now actually much thinner. I've physically, literally pressed it thin. So the next color I put on top of this area will not need anywhere near as much pressure. And by the time we get to the 4th layer, we have to start being really, really careful. If we press too hard, we're in trouble. Ultimately, for a print like this sticker paper is ideal. It'll take all that stuff you're going to pour into it. If the paper was too thin, you'd have trouble with a print like this. Look at that electric color. I'm not used to this stuff yet. I'm not even close to being used to it. How many plates in total? I don't know. Where are we? 10? I don't know. 5 pieces of wood both sides? I don't know. I don't want to stop just yet. Just a minute. Speaking of Murata-san, she's coming to Tokyo in a few days. She'll be here on Tuesday. She's got business of her own in Tokyo, and then she's coming by to see us. Unfortunately, she won't be here for a stream day. She'll be here Tuesday in the afternoon. We're going to grab her and head out for dinner, if I can. That's the plan. How many colors? Just a sec. How many are there going to be? Hey, let's look at this. Key block. Somebody count for me. I'm going to count. You guys count. Key block. Base blue tone. Base color for the Tanuki and Jiso-san. Base in the background. Glow, sky glow. Deepening the colors inside the forest. More deepening and greening the colors inside the forest. Another base color in the background. It's got a sky tone, the glow into the trees. Then the sky at the back. More deepening. A little bit a touch up on the bib that the Jiso-san has. And then the final color on the bib. Oh, and then one more. My God, I didn't even get to it. Is that 5 or 6 up in that top corner? That must be the end. How many? I didn't count. How many impressions was it? 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. The book you just saw, the one I flipped to, that's the guide for the next printers. Chiharu-san in Nagano, when she did the first batch of this, she had our block set and she had some samples from the people in France, and she made that guide set for the subsequent printers. So we don't start from scratch each time. We each mix our own pigments. It's hard work. I'm sweating already. If there wasn't going to be anybody else here today, I would get my jacket off, my shirt off here. Hopefully this is winter work, really. Keep you warm. It's not summer work. And actually in the old days, a lot of this was literally winter work. Because back in the old days, in the Edo period, not so much top-level ukiyo-e printing, but generic printing, printing of books and things that didn't require a very supreme level of printer's skill. A lot of that was done in the winter by itinerant laborers, people up from Tohoku. Once the snow hits up there, the rice is all harvested, you're done. There's nothing to do for half the year. A bunch of those guys, thousands of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them, whatever, would come to Tokyo. And they needed work. And the printing business, as in printing books and stuff, they could use these guys. They didn't have, classical ukiyo-e printing skills, but they could rub pigment on a paper and print a book page. And that was winter. So these guys would migrate to Edo for the winter, print books, and back in the spring, out they go back up to Tohoku, get back to work in the farms. 8:30, 1/3 of the way through. One-third of the stream through. It's not third of the printing. We have 72 sheets. It's actually an easy go. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is number 10 out of 72 sheets. So it really wouldn't take that long, you know. If I were doing nothing else, this would be finished before lunch. Because they're thick, I'm using today a slightly smaller barren. This is 12 centimeters, not 13. Helps focus the power. It's a strong barren, of course. It's a Yakko Ftoi, I know, 8-strand coil heavy. And it's a powerful tool, one of our most powerful tools. And you're going to see me all day. I'm going to turn it and turn it and turn it, because we're using so much power, it would break through. The sharp parts of the coil would break through the skin if I didn't turn it after almost every impression. You'll also see me put the camellia oil on every few impressions. How's our supplied bamboo skins? We're okay. I think Goto-san, I don't have an update from this past year, from this current year, what the climate is going to look like this year. Years when it's too wet or too dry or whatever, the bamboo skins are not in good shape. I haven't heard any kind of a status update this year. For us, they're okay. For Goto-san, who uses the bamboo to make barrens, it's much more critical. Turn. We were talking about music I used to listen to, not here in the shop, but of course I bopped to music, absolutely. No, I'm not into that stuff at all. Mindless power. Okay, there's our first 12. And I've got the paper today. There's 72 sheets broken up into 6 groups. And they're going to go 2 by 2 here. So I've got 12 and 12. Here we are. So it's in thirds, really. I've got 3 groups, 12, 12, 12, 12, and 12, 12, 24. I was joking before about 12 and a half sheets of paper because it was the groups of 25. I had 100 split into 4 groups of 25. And we were joking that the left and right group were 12 and a half and 12 and a half. Today, because there's only 72 sheets, it's in 3 groups of 24, which means 12 and 12. So there's no half sheets involved today. Actually, look at this. You can see barren lines. This is a bit, actually, maybe this is a bit careless printing. I gave up before all the pigment was removed. There's probably still a bit of that blue pigment here because you can see the lines. Ho, ho, ho. Maybe I should have rubbed that last one a little bit longer. Don't tell anybody. Someone says, a mister with watered down sizing. Well, if it hasn't dried, it's not going to help me. If it's still wet glue, it's not going to help us. Sizing has to dry, of course. It's physically gluing the fibers together. There's no way we could use wet sizing, I think. Yoshida talks about that in his book at one point, and this is Hiroshi Yoshida in his book. He mentions that if a particular print has had so many layers and so many rubbings that the sizing starts to break down, and if the paper on the back starts to peel up, he mentions as a stopgap 2 things. 1, dry it off, resize, add some more sizing, dry that, moisten the paper, and get back to work. Now that's, of course, that's what we really would do if that was a problem. But he mentions a shortcut, which I have to admit I have never tried. He says an alternate way to do it is if the paper starts to peel on the back partway through, get a cloth, a rag, a cloth. I think he uses the word cloth or a rag. Dip it in weak sizing and drag the cloth across the back of the paper. Wait a while, and then print. And I've never actually tried that, but he mentions this in his book. Now, Yoshida-san himself wasn't a printer, of course. He never took barren to paper. This is Hiroshi Yoshida. He was a designer. The men came to his home to work, so he watched them all the time. He saw them all the time. He saw things they were doing, but he didn't actually do it himself. So he is telling a story about something that he has seen. How come we don't carve the wood grain into the pictures? This is an interesting, good question. Modern artists, and when I say modern, I mean like through the 20th century, this kind of stuff started. You would get sosaku artists, people making prints by themselves, designing, cutting, and printing. A great many of those people did use the wood grain. They want the wood grain to show in the print. This is in their idea, that's what really sort of shows it's a wood bar print. You want to see and feel the wood. In the traditional world, which we came from, we're now sitting with sort of one leg in and one leg out. In the traditional world, why did they use wood? It was because that was the way to put pigment onto paper. It wasn't used as wood for artistic effect. Wood was a tool to make a picture. And any wood grain that showed in the picture in the old days was a defect. What you wanted was color. You didn't want to show your tool. You can imagine some kind of sculpture. I'm gonna guess it's some kind of analogy. Maybe Michelangelo is making a sculpture of David, and he's got a hammer and chisel. He wants a beautiful smooth skin on his sculpture. He doesn't want to see the hammer and tool marks. But some other sculptor coming into modern times, they've got a piece of stone and they want to see the hammer marks. They want you to see that it's a physical piece of stone that was hammered. And that's the best analogy I can think of to the situation here. In most of our work here at Mokuhankan, most of it, if you can see the wood grain, we have failed. I'm speaking a bit dramatically, but that's the point. We don't want to see the wood grain. But many, many modern artists do. They think it's part of the concept of what a woodblock print can be. So there's no right or wrong, it's just the field you're in. For us, the wood is a tool to get a specific effect that we want. You know, to sort of rub it in. There's no way that we would want to see wood grain here. If there were wood grain in that background or wood grain in the tree, it wouldn't make sense. We just want the picture to be made up of these different layers. None of this is right or wrong. It's all a different approach to it. And some people outside, why are you making woodblock prints if you don't want to see the wood? I get it, that it sounds a bit paradoxical. Why do we use wood? Because it leaves a certain effect, a certain way of pigment having been pressed onto paper through wood. It's astonishingly beautiful and rich and deep. And the wood grain is not relevant to that point. Someone's asking about the color. What's the name of the color? I don't know. We don't have a specific name for each one of the pigments that we mix up. The raw materials for the thing you're looking at, it came from shimbashi, which I do happen to have here. This was the main raw material for what you're seeing here. This is the pigment, the raw pigment called shimbashi. That's a district in Tokyo. And this pigment didn't exist in the old Edo period. We're told Taisho era. And I think it came from fashion. Kimono fashion at the time was getting away from the old traditional indigo color, which to them was just old-fashioned. And this was a new modern pigment from the Taisho era. We actually don't normally use it in our work. But here, to use what's in this cup, mixed with a tiny bit of yellow and then some titanium white, what you're seeing here. So it's a kind of a light teal. But I don't have a name for this. We don't have a name for everything that we mix up in our bowls. Someone says, am I no longer doing carving? Well, in the near future, I will not be at my carving bench very much. We have 4 carvers working at Mokuhankan, and we don't have enough printers. So Dave has switched his job description for the nonce, to become a printer. But don't worry, if you need a carving fix, I know where you can get it. Mods, chat, can you tell this gentleman where he can get a carving fix? Is it twice a week? 9:30 in the morning one day and 9:30 in the evening on another day? There is a place where you can get a carving fix. In fact, right now it's the best of both worlds. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Rice Ball 80. This is somebody else working for us. Taran-san works for us, and at the moment he is only carving. He's now streaming on Twitch twice a week, I believe. He's also got a YouTube channel, as do we. And if you really want carving, you can look at our YouTube channel back numbers, or you can watch Taran-san live. Mokuhankan, we bring it all. Somebody say Taran-san has started streaming, but I have yet to see one of his streams. And I'm not trying to be funny or strange about this. I have yet to see one of Taran-san's streams. He does it, as I mentioned, twice a day. One of his times is 9:30 in the morning, and Dave is kind of busy. 9:30 in the morning, whatever day it is, I'm at work. I don't have time to sit there with a computer screen watching somebody. And his other time, he starts streaming at 9:30. And I don't know if I could confess this or not, but these days here in the summer, Dave's bedtime is 9:30 to 10, somewhere in there. I'm out of it. That's as long as I can stay awake in the summer. So his streams are past my bedtime. Get your late night fix with Taran-san. Yeah, I stay up later in the winter. For some reason, it just seems like it's something about the body cycle. I sleep less hours, fewer hours in the winter. Maybe 6 to 7 hours. In summer, it's 8 to 9 hours. I don't know. Seems backwards. People were asking Taran-san about my bedtime last Tuesday, whatever. It depends too if I've been able to get a nap in the afternoon. Days when I couldn't get a nap, when I can't, then I'm crashing earlier. But if I've had a good nap in the afternoon, I can be up later. And another factor of Dave's bedtimes is auctions. I'm the designated Yahoo bidder. We get prints from a whole bunch of different places, but Yahoo Auctions is one of the main ones, and Dave is the designated bidder. Last night was a busy night for me. In fact, I got a bunch of prints. I was surprised. I thought people would have bid against me. 26. I won 26 auctions last night. Some cool stuff. This is not for my collection. These are things for going into our shop for sale, not for the collection, for the most part. Today's show and tell, we'll be showing you something that was from Yahoo Auctions and was from my collection. But last night, for the most part, I think for all of it, boom, boom, bid, 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 bid. These are things going into the shop. So maybe a bunch of you guys were bidding against me last night. I don't know. No idea. I'm always surprised. There's so many that we get. Nobody bids against me. The one I'm going to show you on Show and Tell today, it stunned me. It came up on auction. I had a search term that popped this up. Oh, there it is. I've been waiting for this one. Dave, you're not going to get it. This is going to be popular. A lot of people are going to want this one. So I sat and waited. Auction time came closer. This is last week, whatever. So it gets closer. There's no sniping on Yahoo Auctions because anytime you put in a high bid, it adds 5 minutes to the time and it notifies other people who have bid. Somebody has outbid you. So there's no sniping on most Yahoo Auctions. So waiting to the end, it's only helpful because you're sort of hoping the other guy has gone to bed. Or that the owner doesn't put in a fake bid, which is also very, very common. Anyway, the story about this one is I ended up bidding for this, and I was the only bidder, and it shocked the hell out of me. What? Nobody wants this incredible item? So we look at that at show and tell time. It's 8:51. There are still scammers all over the place. I said I won those auctions last night. Perhaps some of them, the price was higher than I should have paid because of scammers. Possibly. Still, I put my bid in. I put my top in. I never get pushed up by the scammers. I put my top bid in anyway. But last night, cut into my beauty sleep, I was up late because of that, so. So today, I definitely need a nap in the afternoon. Come on, focus, focus, hocus pocus, focus. We got it? Focus. We've had a couple of, I can't say scams, but a little bit of not so excellent, not so nice behavior. Some of the auctions that we won, there was one a couple of weeks ago. It looked good, looked like a nice low price. We bet it, I paid for it. And then the guy, the auction, the seller, wrote a note which came through to Nami-san here, said, geez, you guys, I'm really sorry, you know, but I can't find it. Likely story, actually. Just the price had been too low and he hadn't had a reserve on it. He said, I can't find it. I'm going to refund your money. A few minutes later, pop, the money comes back and there's nothing else we can do. And of course, the rest of the story, a couple of weeks later, up it goes on an auction again, this time with a higher starting price. This is not unknown behavior, and it happened a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, I can't find it. Who are you going to call? How's our time? 8:54. We're doing okay. Regular viewers know we'll be interrupted a little bit in a few minutes. Sadako should be here. Somewhere around 9:07, I think. She's on shop duty today. As am I. Don't rush it. I'm not rushing her. Not at all. Is she listening? It's I can't guess. It's 8:55. So where would Sadako be at the moment? I don't know. Maybe on the Ginza line. I can't tell exactly. No rushing. Hey, we got some sunshine outside. Whoa! Might be mixed day today. Look at this. Sunshine. Still a stain on the middle of the street. thought you guys got your Sadako filled the other day. She was there on Thursday. We were trying to get a good view of the Hotaru. Those of you who were there on Thursday know we saw one, literally, no exaggeration, we saw one firefly. We'd been standing there waiting 15, 20 minutes, and we're thinking like, let's just leave. There's nothing happening here tonight. And I'm like, just wait a little bit longer. And boom, one lonely firefly came. And it's funny, he didn't behave really in a normal way. We have the house and the river is along the back of it. Then there's an empty field, across where somebody's backyard. And the fireflies usually go, they dance along the river, staying above the surface of the water. There's a bunch of trees and tree branches that overhang the river. And that's where, I guess, the ladies wait. And you can see when there's lots of fireflies, they meet up and they go onto a leaf or under a leaf that overhangs the river. So for the most part, the fireflies go back and forth along the river. But this dude the other day, Thursday night, the guy we saw, Wednesday night, he comes along from the left, along the river, and then I didn't think they were afraid of people, but it seemed like he was trying to keep away from us. And I don't think fireflies have any knowledge that a human being is standing there. But he flew away from us, up out of the river, over onto the field, and headed away from the river. And my guess is there's a light that shines up there. There's a little tiny shrine off to the right and up past the house there. And it's got a little light above the bell and the offering box. And my guess is that guy got confused by lights and headed over there where he saw the light in the distance. I don't know, I can't prove that, but that's what I think. And X minutes later, 5-10 minutes later, we were waiting. Back he came. And it seems like the same guy because he came back to the river from that same direction. I don't think they're conscious of people standing there. I don't think they shy away from people. Don't quote me because I don't know. But when there's lots of them there, you put your hand out and they can come nearby. If you're really lucky, they will like maybe even stop on your hand or something. I don't think they're bothered by people. But I don't know. Well, somebody says, oh, John, we used to get fireflies to land on our hands. Yeah, I think they're okay with this. Am I getting too dark? It's sometimes possible, if you don't do too carefully, you end up getting a bit too dark. I think I'm okay. It's like a bit of a different color tone. That's test paper and this is washi. So we're seeing a different bit of a tone, but the depth is the same here. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. 3 more in this group. I'm using a fairly large brush here, because the printing area is wide. Most of the pigment disappears when you make the impression. And we need a good reservoir. So we couldn't use a little dinky brush for this. We need a good full-size brush. Someone says, is my back, neck okay? I don't have any problems in this bed, never have. I'm 73, I've been doing this since I was 29, I guess, 28, 29. I move around a lot, I don't do this 24 hours a day. The thing is ergonomic. You'll see the really important one is my wrist. This is pretty straight. If we had a different angle and I was doing stuff like this would be dead in minutes. So the angle is, the bench is angled down, so as much as possible we're not angling my wrist here. It's not perfectly straight, but it sure is close. And I'm leaning forward over this thing, and the power is coming here, not pushing with biceps. There's no bicep power happening here at all. It's coming from the muscles at the back here. Right, I don't know what they're called, the muscles, whatever, behind my shoulders. My arm is locked, you can't really see it. My arm is locked. My wrist is locked. And it's coming from right there. I don't have any biceps worth talking about. I have nothing. I have even trouble doing chin-ups. I can't do that. My upper arms look like a woman or something. There's nothing here. But right there, that's where I got muscle on one side anyway. Or at least when I was a printer regularly. These days it's a different story, but whatever. But no, do I have, what was the question? Do I have back trouble or something? Not at all. People down the street, you know, there's a funny little episode from yesterday. I was printing here yesterday afternoon. I did the key block here yesterday afternoon. Ishikawa-san was here printing, then she went home, Ayumi-san went home, and I was up here by myself. I finished my key block, and I grabbed a cup of coffee, and I went out to the balcony here. You know, right where the camera is, where you're seeing now. I was standing there on the balcony. Now we're 3 floors up, 1, 2, 3 floors up, and I wasn't leaning over waving to people. I was just standing on the balcony. Kind of stepped back actually, because the balcony is kind of dirty, so I was stepped back. I was in the door of the room. Enough, I couldn't see the people on the close sidewalk, but I could see people in the middle of the street and people walking by across the street. And something very, very interesting happens, and this all the time happens. Hang on. As I'm standing there, endless numbers of times, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times every minute, I end up in eye contact with somebody. I'm just standing there, sip of coffee, looking out, looking down at the street, and people will be walking along, and suddenly somebody will look up right directly at me. Now, I've done nothing. I haven't moved. I've just stood there looking down. And how many times, when you're walking down the street, you look this way, you look that way. Nobody looks up into the air, but they do. And it's got to be something like peripheral vision. People are walking in a place that's strange to them. These are tourists. They've never been here before. They're walking down the street. And it must be something in our makeup where in your peripheral vision, if you see something that triggers, it's a face or something like this. They look around, they look up, and then there they see me. And then they're walking, and they look at me as they walk by. And at that point, I either nod and smile, or I break off and look away somewhere else. And this is not just once in an hour. This is every minute, X times every minute. And my pet theory, maybe somebody here knows more about this, human beings are triggered. We're built in. We have this, instinct, whatever, that when we're out there in the world, somebody, you know, somebody, something. I don't know if it's there, everybody's paranoid, somebody is watching me, or if it's part of our makeup. Someone says, I don't think it's just humans, it's probably anything. Yeah, well, I haven't checked to see if dogs look up at me or whatever, I don't know. And people are saying it's movement in the corner of the eye, and I've tried this. I saw this and thought, yeah, maybe they saw a person moving. So I've tried this by standing absolutely rock still. Don't move. It still happens. So it's not just movement. It's something of a shape, eyes and a nose and a human shape. I think if people here, I don't know, neurophysicists or something who know more about this or whatever. It's a thing. This is not me making this up, and it's not me exaggerating this. This is a real thing. It's my aura. I don't know. Someone says you can feel a person's gaze. I find it hard to believe how that's possible. I mean, I'm not emitting something when I look at a person down there. I'm just watching them go by. You know. Anyway, I am curious about this. If these people were in their home territory, would they still do the same thing? Are they aware of this because they are in strange territory? Danger lurks in every corner. You know, I don't know. Yeah, somebody's got it. We recognize anthropomorphic features. Clearly we do that. And maybe this is part of that. Maybe it's a defense mechanism. We're wired to watch for danger. And when you're in some strange territory, a person looking out from behind a bush or something is danger, or a tiger or something. Okay, that's another 12 done. We've done 12 and 12. We are now 1/3 of the way through the batch of paper. It's 9:09. I think we'll cut it here. I don't want to start another batch because I'm going to have to go down into the shop today. We're going to cut it here. Later this afternoon, once the shop's closed, I'll have dinner, I'll come back up, I will finish this color. But for the moment, rather than start a new group and leave it halfway, I will leave it there. It's 9:09, it's 9:10, we're going to get disturbed in a minute by Sadako, and also I have a ton of show and tell prints. So let's have a 5-minute early show and tell. Pigment paste out of the way, block out of the way, zoom out a bit, now as I said we have match labels galore, but before I show you the match labels, let me show you something else. I hear footsteps on the stairs. Oh, here she is. Look at this, exactly timing. Hey. 9:11. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello.
Morning.
How's the trip this morning? Crowded?
Not so bad.
Not too bad. Hey, I'm sweating already. So I'm sorry. Stinky Dave here. It's hard work. It's
I heard it.
Sabushi block. Oh, you're watching. Yeah. So hard work. Okay, we're going to switch. I've just finished 12 prints, so I'm going to pack up the paper and we're going to do an early show and tell. And And to show the print, I've got to get up there. I can't fit it. Let me go and get the print. Excuse me.
Yosh, yosh.
Showing vaccinated prints recently, so I thought it was time to go a little bit different.
So many things.
Here's the dimensions of what we're looking at today. This is a wood block print. It's not one that we could have made here on these little benches that we have. This is a print. The designer is Kawaii Gyokudo. And Kawaii Gyokudo, show?
Gyokudo.
Look,
Gyokudo.
isn't that what I said?
Yes, correct. You are correct.
Her voice is saying, not close enough. Whatever. Okay, let's show off our knowledge. I don't even know. When is the designer? He's not my generation. He's not my dad's. Our grandparents' generation to show.
I think
Died
so.
in
Meiji Taisho.
Meiji Taisho, maybe died in the 1950s or something, whatever. Japanese Nihonga painter, classical painter. And what we're looking at is a wood block print. Someone's got a link. Good, thank you, John. Died in 57. Okay, that sounds about right. Okay, whatever. It's a wood block print made from one of his paintings. Now, actually, the painting, I believe, is in Ome. There's the Kawaii Gyokudo
there's a
museum up
museum.
there in Ome.
Museum.
So, and I was looking earlier today before the stream started to try and find the original of this, and I think it's in the museum up there in Ome. So this would be cool to be able to go and see it. Also, I tried to find the original of this, and it seems he came back to this theme again and again and again and again. So when you Google Kawaii Gyokudo and Ugai, cormorant fishing, you get lots and lots of different designs. Let me get back to sitting down here. I got a couple of links. If I can find them. A link here to the original. Got two links. One is the original painting, and one is the print, and I can't remember which was which. Hmm? Okay. And this is so different than the thing that you've just seen me printing. It's incredible. It's hard to believe, actually, that this is a woodblock print. There's so much blurriness and vagueness. Look at this. And this white, it's not printed by putting white pigment on top.
The original paper
it's not much white because it's got gray and gray.
Mm.
So there's not much actual white.
Mm.
Wow. It's insane how many colors and whatever. So, and someone says, just how? I couldn't give you any guess on how many blocks and how many colors. The documentation we've got with it gives me printers, a carver's name. I don't know him.
Itami.
Itami?
So.
Issei janai.
Itami.
Itami. Okay, here's our information. This is from Momose. He's dead now, Mr. Momose. I met him once. He came to visit my Hypninishu exhibition once. Was that maybe when you were there or not, back in the early days? I don't know. This is Momose-ban. Mr. Momose, a little old guy, and he ran a publishing company. And he came to me to see if I'd be interested in having him publish some of my Hypninishu prints. And it's only because he didn't understand. They were my prints, but they weren't my designs. They were Edo-era designs. And he's like, so ka, and left. But I was curious what he would have proposed, you know. So someone's saying it literally doesn't look like a print. Believe me, this is a woodblock print. The printer was Sato Ritsuzo, published by Momose. He pronounced it Ritsuzo. I met the guy. This is Sato Ritsuzo. So I was surprised about that. So he was Top Gun. He worked for Yuyudo Momose. Long gone now. Absolutely incredible. It was an auction. I bought it for, the thing is, it came up on a Yahoo auction last week. And I thought, no way am I going to be able to get this. The starting price was, I think, 11,000 yen. I got ready for it, but I thought, no way am I going to get this, because this is going to go 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, and there's no way I can afford, pocket money on that sort of thing. Nobody else bid on it. Someone says, "Can I buy it?" Sorry, you're too late. Go back to Yahoo Auctions a few days ago. You could have bought this. Nobody else bid against me. Someone's asking, "Can I zoom in?" Where? Zoom in on the waves. But just trying to do the color separation. Oh my God. It just disappears. And then the guys up top, just disappearing into the mist. Look at this. Just disappearing into the mist. This is so cool. What was the winning bid? I put the auction page in a minute ago, didn't I? I thought I took them out to the other side. Here's the auction page. If you're in Europe, you may be denied because the Yahoo blocks people from Europe. Yeah, 11,000 yen. What's that in US dollars for most people? It's like $600, 650 bucks, whatever. Oh, no, $70. It's free, just free, that I could put a little bit of money on the table. I mean, my God, some days we spend more on lunch, whatever. But what was interesting was the comparison with the painting, how much they changed. A couple of things. The painting was much larger. This boat is longer, there's more. The painting maybe had about 3 times the surface area. They cropped one area of the painting to turn into a print. And this is after he's dead. This is if I'm going to guess a single year, 1985 or something like that. And he died in whatever we saw just now, 57 or something. So this is a woodblock print publisher talking to his estate or going to the museum and saying, "I have a proposal to make $1 million together, let's do this." So it's interesting. It's talking to the estate, and yet they've cropped the picture. So somebody in the family has given permission, to take just a piece of one of my dad's works, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Absolutely fabulous. It's fabulous. The closer you get, you can see that it's not perfect. You can now see the wood blockiness. You can see the cut edges. And what I would like to have is more than one copy to compare. The parts that are carved and printed, the lines, they will be the same. But the parts that are made up of blurred areas of gray fuzziness, they're going to be different from print to print. Like this gray coming down here, it's not a block carved to this line. It's a block that would have been coming down all the way to the boat, and the printer has got some kind of master copy to refer, and he's rubbed pigment around bit by bit by bit to bring it a bit closer. So one by one by one, they're going to look different. And even up here, look at this on the left-hand side. You can see there's atenashi bokashi here. Can you see it's darker, lighter, darker, lighter, darker, lighter? He's taken his brush on a flat, blank piece of wood and rubbed pigment to match some kind of painting sample he must have had right beside himself. Focus problem again. So seeing more than one copy would really, really, really teach us a lot about this. It's not really meant for close-up. You can see the closer you get, you can see the sort of scratchiness and
Yes.
No, I'm saying it's not this like our own prints. No, it's an important point. Our own prints, they're designed. You wouldn't put this on the wall. You would hold it close up and you would look at this, and it's neat and clean. And it doesn't matter how close you get, it's not going to get any worse. It's always just going to look nicer, the little ones that we make. And there's nothing blurred and vague about it. It's crisp, clean lines. But a print like this other big one, seeing it close up, there's no way that's what it's designed to do, obviously. It was sold in a frame. When I bought it for that price, 11,000, it came in a drop dead, beautiful, gorgeous, very expensive frame. Moniji Hasanjuman frame. Much more expensive. So, but it would have been on the wall and you would stand and look at it as a painting in a gallery. It's not the kind of thing you would look at close up. The camera's having trouble because it's at an angle. So there we are. Let's leave that there for a second then. Go to the package. It's just too much fun to compare these. Where are we here? Can we, oh, I need your help. Can we look for number 16 is here. Perfect, perfect. I don't understand what these are. And Sadako's language is going to be able to help me.
Is it 16?
Number 16 here.
Yes.
It's the little match label prints we got the other day. Let's keep this aside for just a moment. The other end of our woodblock scale of enjoyment. Can't get in. These are more of the match level prints we've been showing the past few days. We're looking at pre-war 1920s, 25, 26, whatever. This is a set, and I'm not quite sure what this set is about. And it says Small Beauty Collection. Kobi Nantoka Shu.
La.
But that's also collection, to show group.
シュは
Small Beauty
ビューティーじゃないの。
B でしょ。
小美ラですね。
John's asking what they are. I don't know, so we're hoping for some information here. And they're not prints of beauties. They are prints that all have a from and a to name. And they are generally good luck or good fortune symbols. We have a treasure ship, we have Mount Fuji, we have a climbing carp, we have a tie, we have a Dharma picture, a turtle, long-lived turtle. We have a series of prints that seem to be generally about good fortune. And they all have two names on them, nani nani yori, nani nani e, from somebody to somebody. Sadako is frantically looking in the background, trying to figure out what this is
そ
all
れ
about.
ね、ギラっていうね、中国にギなのこれ、美じゃなくてギ、この感じ。
Eh? You think so?
そう、
Okay,
look at
okay,
this.
okay, I'm not going to argue. I asked you. Okay. So, what are we looking at? They're all
ギラっていう
they're all good fortune or good luck or Tai, Mount Fuji. We've got the magic hammer, long-lived turtle, treasure ship. It's all fortunate stuff. And they all have a name. Somebody yori, somebody ni, or somebody e. Nani nani san. Look at this. Nani nani san e. Nani nani san
Sengyo.
yori.
本場。本場。
So it looks like the guys in the group, it's from A to B, they're giving some kind of message or gesture or well wishes or something. What are we looking at? It looks like a complete set. So, minna, yori, e. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 16, which makes a full set. What's the point? Any idea? It's clearly a set. I can't see a date. They're a little bright and clean from mid-20s. It's pre-war, maybe 26 up to 1930, somewhere around there. So no idea. What about some of the lettering then, Sadako, that's in the middle of it? The brush strokes here. Are these all reflective of...
勢、勢い、
It doesn't-
勢い。
It's not koi no bori to show. It's what's the actual? Is it describing what we're seeing in each one? This is no, kana?
ノーボーリーだね。ノ
Okay,
ーボーリー。
so it's describing this. It's a title of what we're seeing. This is no.
こう、大きな、おじいちゃんのこと。
Right?
にぎわい。
Dancers. These are sparrow dancers, a famous Edo era dance.
にぎわい。わかりません。
So, wakarimasen. So, this is what do we got here? Where's the fish? Good.
鮮魚、fresh fish.
Fresh fish, which is, it's obviously a Thai, or maybe Thai.
そう。
Beautifully carved, colors beautifully
Suehiro.
preserved.
末広っていう末広。
What's me? I see
おたふくよ
suehiro
り。
as a
おたふくより。
These are a little bit unusual in that the colors are really, really brighter than we normally see from this era, and the paper's a bit white. So I'm not so sure if this actually matches the rest of the stuff we got. The guy who sold it is marking it as shoreturo. If I hear there, look, he's marking it
美
as.
せしいや、you are
Okay,
right.
okay. No, I'm not.
No,
He could be wrong. He
そ
could
う
be
そう
wrong. I don't know.
そうそう、美じゃないね、でもね。
Okay, maybe you could be right. This guy knows nothing. It's just a guy who's got a batch of prints.
ラです。
It cost us, where are we here? It cost me 3,800 yen for this batch of
3800
prints.
円。
So. Someone says they're from the 1980s. There's no way. These are pre-war. The production, the carving, the printing is pre-war, but they have been on a very nice paper which stays white, and they have been preserved. They've been kept together, never open to the sunshine or light, anything ever. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful set of prints. So when people ask me why I'm fooling around with this woodblock stuff, it's just endless. We go from those two extremes, these tiny, beautiful, she's got an idea.
上り竜。上り竜。
So after climbing, you mean?
Climbing dragon.
Mhm.
縁起がいい。
I don't see a dragon really. Okay, whatever, it's an imaginary
No,
dragon.
noboru-
Okay, okay.
noboru-
Yep, I
no.
understand it. Climbing dragon.
うん。
And we have Ichifuji でしょ?
Ichifuji.
But to get back what I was trying to say, we go from these two extremes, these fabulous, absolutely incredible, tiny detail on a small scale, and then the next day we end up getting a print like this that comes in, you know. And these are the same technique, by the same kind of wood, the same kind of paper, the same kind of everything. It goes from one extreme to the other. We just can't get enough of this stuff. It's so cool. Okay, downstairs. See you. Yeah. Okay. We gotta focus. Someone says, is the red tomato a dharma? It is indeed a dharma, of course. It's a parody picture of a dharma. All the things we see here are good luck relevant things. The magic hammer to bring money, the long-lived turtle drinking from the sake bowl. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Some saying, are these small prints common? Do they have a name? They are no longer common. This is pre-war. We're looking at 1920s, 1930s. The genre now is called match label prints. We have a whole bunch on our website. Maybe some of the people here, the mods, can put a link to the collection top page. And if you go to the search box in our collection and look for the genre match label prints. Someone's got the link, Nightbot, thank you, Koringami, thank you. Follow the link, go to the search box, go to the bottom of the search box, look for the genre of match labels, and you will see super, super close-up pictures of many, many others. This particular group is not scanned and photographed yet. It will be at some point in the future. So if you want to see a bunch more of these at really high resolution, follow that link. Okay, we're out of time. I've got to get back to work, and I've also got to get down to the shop today. It is going to be a very, very busy day in Asakusa, Tokyo. Thank you very much. I think it's been productive today. We've seen really useful work for those of you who are trying to learn how to make prints, and we've had a bit of fun stuff to see. Thank you again. I'll be back here 2 days from now. Monday morning, I will be doing exactly the same thing. Printing, printing, printing. That's my job for the rest of the year. I think we're done. Thank you very much for coming over. I don't see the Ninja Boys yet. Where's their motorcycles? Are they late today? It's Saturday. They should be having a busy day today, you know? Not sure. Okay, thanks very much. See you in a couple of days. Counting down. 3, 2, One, yeah, someone's saying the ninjas are sneaky, that's why we can't see them. Okay, I guess it's a successful ninja. 3, 2, 1, let's get out of here. See you Monday morning. Bye for now.